Good morning, this is Nick Rhineberger with you on 97.3 ABC Illawarra. Now, you know that it is possible for you to legally own a firearm in New South Wales, but you're not allowed to use it for any other purpose other than which you're licensed for. That is, if you're a target shooter, that's what you've got to use it for, or if you're a hunter, etc. What happens if you're a licensed gun owner and the very rare time comes where you need to use it to defend yourself? That's actually illegal. So you may very well get off charges of, say, assault, but you will still be charged under the Firearms Act for using that weapon for a purpose other than what it's licensed for. David Leyonhjelm suggests that this is a loophole in New South Wales that needs to be closed, and he's on the line now here at 97.3 ABC Illawarra. Mr. Leyonhjelm, good morning.
Good morning.
Now, is this a federal issue or a state issue? Because it's really come out of Deputy Premier John Barilaro's call for an inquiry into the laws. Can you explain it?
It's essentially a state issue, but increasingly the federal government is showing an interest in firearms matters via the National Firearms Agreement. So, although I'm a federal senator, I take a pretty close interest in it.
Okay, can you tell me what Mr. Barilaro is asking for?
Yes, he wants an inquiry into it to determine whether this makes any sense, and I've supported him. I think it doesn't make any sense at all. You can imagine, you're on the way to a shooting range, for example, and you get held up by some people, and you have the opportunity to defend yourself. You might be getting robbed, or they might be wanting to attack your daughter, or something, particularly nasty. And but you have the opportunity to get your firearm out that you're taking to the range for target shooting, and defend yourself. And the law says you're not allowed to do that. It is idiotic.
Self-defence is often the justification people use in, say, the US for purchasing firearms of all sorts, not only tiny handguns, but giant assault weapons. I mean, realistically, how often does that happen that we need to put that in the law?
It happens more often than you think, and it often doesn't result in anybody getting shot. It results in somebody who would be a criminal, who would be a perpetrator, somebody doing some harm, deciding not to do it because they're faced with the prospect of getting shot if they proceed. That happens far more often than actually a perpetrator being shot. But actually, around the world, there are very few countries that don't allow you to have a firearm for self-defence under any circumstances, and Australia is one of very few countries with that policy. In almost every country, and this is an interest area of mine, and I have made a bit of a study of it, if you have a genuine reason for needing a firearm to protect yourself, suppose you're being threatened by a former partner or somebody who doesn't like you, or one of these obsessive-compulsive type people, and it's clear that they have evil intent on their mind, you can get a permit, permission, whatever, for a firearm in almost every other country, but not in Australia.
Again, is this legislating for something that would be a sheer coincidence? You happen to be going to the gun range and then you happen to get a carjacking or something like that?
Yeah, well, that's the scenario, but obviously in the case of Mr. Dunstan, Mr. David Dunstan down in southern New South Wales, it was 3:30 in the morning, and he was at home in bed with his wife and children, and he had this drug-addled lunatic bashing at his door, threatening him, and he went and got his firearm, his .22 rifle, that was all it was, out of the safe, which is where he's legally obliged to store it, and used the firearm to persuade this character that what he had on his mind was such a good idea, and he held him until the police took him away. And then, this guy should have been given a medal. He should have been given a medal. What he did was what any other father would do, protecting his family from somebody who was intent on doing them harm. But instead, what they did was treat him as if he was the criminal, took away his guns, cancelled his licence, then told his wife that she couldn't have any guns if her husband had access to them. She had a licence as well. And it went on and on and on for weeks. And I think it was only the reality that dawned on the silly idiots in the police department that no jury would convict them, no court would convict them for doing what any reasonable person would do, that they finally backed off. And they've now finally given him back his licence. But this shouldn't have arisen. I mean, the guy should have been given a medal, not hounded.
So it all comes down to these very particular cases where even though someone's got a firearm in a safe, he's happened to have time to go and get it out of the safe and presumably get the ammunition out of the separate lockbox which it's supposed to be kept in.
Yeah, well, as it happened, he didn't even load the rifle. He aimed the unloaded rifle at this guy at 3:30 in the morning, and that was enough to persuade him that he wasn't doing the right thing. But yeah, I mean, he would have had to get the ammunition out of the locked box if he had wanted to shoot the guy. But just pointing the gun at this bloke was enough to get him in trouble.
What are the prospects of getting this inquiry across the line?
What we need is some public outrage. We need people to say this has gone too far, this is ridiculous. You know, the law is basically saying you're better off being raped or murdered or robbed or something than defending yourself with a firearm. It is ridiculous, and you know, other countries don't do that. Other countries treat their people with respect, and we should do the same here.
All right, good to talk to you this morning. Thanks very much.
My pleasure, thank you.
David Leyonhjelm, about to go into the Senate for the first time after that week off, talking about new firearms laws here at 97.3 ABC.